Welcome to Ron Tape. Today, we'll unravel the dark and twisted web of secrets in the thrilling 2020 movie, Inheritance. Witness the high-stakes journey of Lauren Monroe as she uncovers her family's hidden past after her father's death. A mysterious inheritance leads to chilling revelations, testing her loyalty and courage. Don't miss this gripping recap that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. In the initial sequence, we meet a renowned attorney called Lauren Monroe who is presented with a case. The proposal involves receiving $1 million fee for defending a criminal. Despite the tempting offer, Lauren declines with grace, citing her inability to accept the case due to her strong moral convictions. Lauren is known for prioritizing justice over monetary gain in her legal career. Subsequently, we are introduced to William Monroe, Lauren's younger brother, who has political aspirations to become the mayor of New York City. Conversely, we are presented with Archer Monroe, Lauren's affluent father, who is experiencing respiratory distress. Despite his condition, he gets into his car, but unfortunately, he passes away while en route to his residence. During a press conference, Lauren receives devastating news from a reporter, leaving her in a state of profound shock. In the subsequent scene, Lauren, her brother William, mother Catherine, husband Scott, and daughter Claire are shown attending the funeral. Following the conclusion of the proceedings, the siblings engage in a conversation where William acknowledges their father's pride in Lauren. Additionally, they discuss the possibility of relocating their mother to a nearby location. Later on, Lauren visits her father's office and reminisces about how he used to teach her to play chess, drawing parallels to the game of life. 1 week later, the Monroe family's lawyer, Harold, reveals Archer's will. Catherine is appointed as the CEO of the family business, while William inherits $20 million. In contrast, Lauren is bequeathed a mere $1 million. The remaining $50 million are designated to be donated to police and medical schools. Harold discloses this information and privately gives Lauren a package left to her by her father. After opening the package, Lauren uncovers a pen drive and a set of keys. Upon inserting the pen drive into her laptop, she discovers a video of her father instructing her to carry a certain truth to her grave. He expresses remorse for his inability to disclose the information to anyone. Prior to his passing, a bewildered Lauren views the video and proceeds to walk into the woods. There, she stumbles upon a surface with a locked entrance and utilizes the key from the package to unlock it. To her surprise, a staircase leading to a basement is revealed. Subsequently, Lauren summons the courage to descend into the bunker despite the darkness. Upon opening a door, she discovers a restrained man. Although she cautiously approaches him, he unexpectedly makes a sudden movement, prompting Lauren to flee in fear. Lauren returns to her residence and contemplates calling 911 for assistance, but William intervenes. He sympathizes with her regarding the unequal distribution of the inheritance and offers to share his portion, but Lauren declines the offer. Stating that wealth is inconsequential to her, Scott approaches Lauren that same night to inquire about her well-being, to which she affirms her state of mind. Nonetheless, Lauren expresses a desire for solitude and bids Scott and Claire farewell. While gazing at a childhood snapshot of herself and her father, she recalls an argument she had with him. It transpires that Archer had requested Lauren to defend their affluent acquaintances in court, but she declined the offer due to her unwillingness to represent criminal defendants. The next day, Lauren resolves to return to the bunker equipped with a firearm. Upon her arrival, she realizes that the man is asleep and takes the opportunity to retrieve his fingerprints to identify him. At that moment, the man awakens, causing Lauren to make a hasty retreat. After a brief interlude, she reappears donning a mask and interrogates the man about his identity. Curiously, he seems to be familiar with intimate details about her, such as her birth date, her brother's name, and her defiance of her father's wishes by getting married. Persuaded by this revelation, Lauren discards her mask and presses him once more to reveal his identity. The man confesses that he perceives himself as a part of her family after his prolonged captivity. He poses a query, asking if Lauren is a virtuous individual, to which she affirms. In response, he urges her to set him free, stating that it is the moral obligation of a good person. Nevertheless, Lauren holds the belief that the man must have done something to deserve his captivity. While attempting to unravel the situation, the man's first request is for a sumptuous meal consisting of juicy steak, potatoes, Caesar salad, Goldwater cigarettes, and a 30-year-old bottle of scotch. Additionally, he emphasizes that the aforementioned provisions would be highly appreciated. Lauren threatens to abandon the man to his fate unless he shaves, but he remains unperturbed and asserts that her conscience would not permit her to do so. Realizing that the man has the upper hand, Lauren acquiesces to his demands and provides him with a razor before departing. Upon returning home, Lauren dispatches the fingerprints to her detective ally Emilio, enjoining him to gather the details expeditiously. Subsequently, she purchases all the items the man had requested and returns to the bunker. After years of deprivation, he finally relishes the sumptuous meal, tears of elation streaming down his face. She also presents him with a chocolate bar, which elicits a strong emotional response from the man. He reveals that her father would annually bring him a bar of chocolate and offer him a single square, leaving the rest on the shelf to ridicule him. Following his satiation, he discloses his name as Morgan Warner and proceeds to divulge his backstory. As per his narrative, he had encountered Archer 30 years ago and forged an amicable bond due to their mutual affinity for three indulgences: gambling, vanity, and women. Eventually, they formed a business partnership, and on one fateful evening, they imbibed alcohol before embarking on a drive. During the journey, Archer accidentally struck and killed a pedestrian. Morgan had an urge to alert the authorities, but Archer insisted that no body equates to no crime. Consequently, Archer buried the corpse, and in opposition, Morgan opposed his actions, prompting Archer to physically assault him and detain him in the bunker. Archer appeared to be anxious that Morgan would report him to the police. Furthermore, Morgan reveals that Archer had engaged in an extramarital affair with a woman named Sophia, who possessed all the qualities that Catherine lacked. Consequently, Archer had given Sophia the moniker of Gypsy Rose. Lauren harbors skepticism about his claims, prompting him to furnish her with Sophia's address and beseeching her to validate his statements. He advises her to consult with Harold since he maintains a record of all the pertinent information. Lauren struggles to process this new information but manages to maintain her composure. She then contacts Emilio, urging him to investigate a person named Morgan Warner. Subsequently, she journeys to the provided address to encounter Sophia. When Lauren asks Sophia about where she met her father, Sophia discloses it was during a poker game. As they converse, she becomes curious about a picture of a boy and asks Sophia about it. Sophia shocks Lauren by disclosing that the boy in the photograph is Alex, Lauren's half-brother. Upon hearing the truth, Lauren becomes overwhelmed and leaves in tears. Later, she confronts Harold and expresses her anger towards him for keeping such a significant family secret. The lawyer justifies his actions by stating that it is his duty to maintain confidentiality. Lauren proceeds to ask if there are any other secrets he has kept from her, to which he assures her that there is nothing else that could cause harm. Moreover, he acknowledges that he will continue to keep the remaining information concealed and advises her to let it go. Lauren visits her mother, who is getting ready for William's election campaign, and inquires about Morgan Warner, but her mother is unfamiliar with the name. Shortly after, William enters the room looking tense. When questioned, he reveals that he is losing some polls and asks Lauren to attend the rally as she is renowned for her honesty in her profession. That night, Lauren goes back to the bunker to uncover further information. She asks about the whereabouts of the pedestrian's body her father had buried. Morgan offers a deal, agreeing to take her to the location in exchange for his release. Lauren reluctantly agrees and leads him outside. Stepping out of the bunker after a long time makes Morgan very emotional. Meanwhile, Lauren receives a call from her husband Scott, who asks where she has been. Lauren offers her apologies to Scott and abruptly ends the call, assuring him that she will make it up to them soon. Subsequently, she drives in the direction instructed by Morgan and eventually arrives at the designated location. Morgan directs her towards the burial spot while he sits back, smoking as she starts to dig. Lauren's suspicions are validated when she uncovers a human skull, verifying Morgan's claims. Overwhelmed by the discovery, she conceals it and drives Morgan back to the bunker. She requests him to put the collar back on, but he pleads with her not to betray him. He argues that as an honest lawyer, she should not be as ruthless as her father. Morgan expresses his anguish, revealing that he could not even attend his own mother's funeral. He implores Lauren to release him so he can make the most of the few years he has left. Morgan promises to disappear from their lives without causing any harm. Despite his lengthy explanation, Lauren apologizes to him and walks away with tears welling up in her eyes. The following day, she visits her brother's office and seeks his counsel, stating it's for one of her court cases. She asks him what he would do if an individual knew all his secrets and posed a threat to him. William replies that he would either dispose of the person's body in the river or hire some thugs to make them vanish from their lives. After contemplating, Lauren brings a bag to the bunker and asks Morgan to promise that he will disappear permanently. Morgan asserts that he has been trapped in this hell longer than Lauren has been alive and assures her that he will never return once she frees him. Consequently, Lauren consents and instructs Morgan to clean himself up, informing him that he will be released later tonight. Afterward, she approaches Harold and requests that he arrange for $1 million and a private jet to transport someone whom her father had mistreated. When Harold inquires about the motive, she declines to disclose any further information. In the subsequent scene, Morgan is preparing to depart, but Lauren inquires if her father had mentioned anything about her to him. He reveals that Archer was proud of her, but disapproved of her opposition to his associates. At this juncture, Morgan exposes another secret regarding William, who had bribed the union representatives. Lauren is taken aback and immediately confronts William, who believes that offering bribes is essential to attain a superior position. He further asserts that their father had even bribed people to secure her appointment as a district attorney. Unable to tolerate his dishonesty any longer, she slaps him and storms off, cautioning him never to deceive her again. Ultimately, Morgan departs from the bunker clutching a chess piece as a keepsake. Upon stepping outside, he inhales the fresh air and experiences a sense of liberation. Lauren drives Morgan to the private jet, where Harold hands him his new ID cards and informs him of the funds in his account. Subsequently, Harold and Morgan board the jet while Lauren returns to the bunker to tidy it up. While cleaning, she comes across a poison hidden beneath the bed but remains unfazed, assuming that everything has ended. Meanwhile, Emilio finds Morgan's file and delivers it to Lauren's home. In the subsequent scene, Catherine arrives home and opens the package for Lauren. At that moment, Lauren walks in and asks Catherine is inspecting her work instead of responding to her. Her mother apprehensively inquires why she possesses a photo of Carson. Lauren clarifies that his name is Morgan and truthfully reveals that her father had kept him captive in the bunker for several years. Upon hearing this, Catherine discloses that the man is a heartless serial killer. She then inquires about his location, but Lauren confesses that she had released him. Subsequently, she hurries to the airport only to discover that Harold and the pilot have been murdered. She swiftly comprehends that Morgan is after her mother and rushes back home, but Catherine has already vanished. Shortly after, she observes that the bunker's door is ajar, prompting her to enter and discover her mother unconscious. As she attends to Catherine, Morgan emerges from behind and switches off the lights. He assaults her, rendering her unconscious before binding her. Once she regains consciousness, he confesses to injecting her father with the poison that eventually led to his demise. He also discloses the genuine truth about their past. Morgan informs her about the night when he drugged Catherine and sexually assaulted her. Simultaneously, Archer arrived to assist his wife and transported them to the bunker. During the journey, Morgan diverted Archer's attention, resulting in a collision with a pedestrian. Moreover, Archer voiced his opposition to Morgan's revelation that he was the person who buried the body. Upon Morgan's decision to pin all the blame on Archer, the latter retaliated by knocking him down and dragging him to the bunker, where he subjected Morgan to a brutal assault. Currently, Lauren endeavors to convince him, assuring him that she will aid him in achieving justice for whatever her family did to him throughout the years. Nonetheless, Morgan asserts that he does not negotiate. He desires for them to suffer there miserably, just as he did for a grueling 30 years. He additionally discloses his intention to pursue the remainder of their family and dismantle the family's legacy by utilizing all the secrets he possesses. At this juncture, Catherine regains consciousness and informs Morgan that she should have been the one to terminate his life, prompting him to strike her. Upon witnessing this, Lauren adopts a different approach and denounces him as a pitiable lunatic, which triggers his fury. As a consequence, he attacks her, flinging her against the walls. He subsequently discloses that he is her biological father, leaving her stunned and breathless. Meanwhile, Catherine seizes the gun and shoots him in the back of his head. The movie culminates with the mother and daughter drenching the bunker in gasoline, setting it ablaze, and observing it incinerate.